the four-letter word that we don't like to think about. We don't like to feel afraid, right? We fear, there's three main things that we fear. We fear rejection. We fear failure. Sometimes we fear success as well. But we fear death, right? So maybe that's four. But the one type of fear, which I feel like is the worst kind of fear, is the fear of regret. The fear of knowing that you're like 85 years old or 90 years old, or you're on your deathbed or something, and you look back upon your life and you realize you didn't do the things that you wanted to do. You didn't meet your full potential. You didn't pursue your path. Because you always, when you're faced with a decision and you felt fear, you always remained imprisoned by it. You didn't let it strengthen you. See, fear, your deepest fears in life can also be your greatest strengths. They can be your greatest allies if you allow them to be. But we like to view fear as this very negative thing, right? We view it in this, it doesn't make us feel good. It makes us feel anxious, right? It has a physiological effect on our body. We run away from it. We avoid it at all costs. We push it away from us instead of analyzing it for what it is, instead of asking ourselves more questions. Like, why am I fearing this? Why am I viewing it in a negative way? Why am I letting it, why do I feel so out of sync to my natural source, to my natural energy? What is it? See, the fear of regret, it's something I feel like a lot of people have when they're older, and that's unfortunate. And, I don't want that for anybody. So if you think now and you're scared of a situation right now that you're in, think to 20, 30, 40 years from now. Are you going to have that fear of regret if you don't face this fear right now? And if you don't face this fear right now, just realize it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not, it's like we live and we don't want to feel anything uncomfortable, right? We kind of like edit our lives to look perfect on the outside, but you can't run away from fear. There's nothing to run away from. You can't run away from your emotions. I mean, you can try to cover them up, and you can try to pretend that everything's all hunky-dory. Yes, I just said that, hunky-dory, and that everything's fine on the surface to everybody else, but who are you fooling? You're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. So if you keep living your life in a manner that everything's okay, that you should never have to feel any sort of discomfort inside, or you should never have to feel fear. The moment you're faced with fear, you freak out and you say, oh my God, I'm going to run away. That's what we do. We run away from it. We run away from fear. I know that. I've run away from fear plenty of times. We're great at escaping. We're great at escaping, but we're not great at, like, not getting caught. We're always going to get caught somehow. We're always going to get caught by ourselves. We're going to get caught by our own emotions. Because they never truly go away. They never truly go away. If anything, you make it worse later on for yourself, because it's that fear of regret, fear that you have the potential to be so much more in your life. And you know that. Deep down, you know that, because maybe you wouldn't be watching this video. Maybe you wouldn't be, I don't know. You just, there's something inside, and not everybody, but a lot of people have this calling within you, that there's something inside of you that wants more, that knows they should have more, that knows they deserve more, yet you're not allowing it. Why? Because fear. That 4-letter word, fear, right? Fear of one of those 3 things: fear of failure, rejection, death. But think to yourself, really, what you're fearing right now, analyze it. Analyze it. And ask yourself, okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to me? If I face this fear, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And if I run away from it, is that going to benefit me or hurt me? So look at this picture of fear. One instance, think of one instance in your life right now that you're fearing, a decision you have to make, something big for you, something that's been on your mind the past week, past 2 weeks, past month, whatever. What are you so scared of? Are you scared of death? Are you scared of rejection? Are you scared of failure? Are you scared of success? And ask yourself, okay, fast forward 5 years from now. Is this going to be an issue? Or are you going to now have the fear of regret 5 years from now if you don't face this fear that you're feeling right now? 5 years from now, how will you view it? 10 years from now, how will you view it? Will it be a big deal? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. See, you have to look at fear and you have to ask, is this fear helping me or hurting me? Is it benefiting me in some way? Or is it going to hinder me from meeting my full potential? Is it going to hinder me from that next step that I need to take in my life? A lot of times that's the case. We stay stuck stay stuck where we are, even though inside of us we know we have more to give. But we always shut that part of ourselves off, and we just kind of go with it. We accept it because we don't want to feel the fear. So you would rather not feel fear, even though it's really inevitable because it's just a part of being a human being. So you're going to have this feeling again in your life at some point. Yet today, you don't want to feel it right this moment. So you're not going to face it. You're going to run away. Therefore, you're not going to help yourself get any further where you are. You're going to remain where you are. So if you're unhappy where you are, you would rather run away from this emotion of fear, which really you're going to feel again. I'm sorry. It's part of life. But you're willing to risk it all, to give it all up, just for instant gratification, to feel meh, okay, to not feel uncomfortable for a little while. Think about that. Fear really is something that's difficult to get over, but you really have to analyze it instead of pushing the emotion away, or instead of just not wanting to feel uncomfortable for a little while. You have to ask yourself, okay, is it going to matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? We always like to focus on the worst thing. So therefore what kind of vibration are we sending out? We're sending out just negative. We're viewing fear as negative instead of letting it become our friend or our strength to power us forward in life. And it's part of it is training. We want to stay safe. We want to stay protected, but is it that much of a threat? Will it still be a threat years from now? Ask yourself the question. And the fear of regret is something that is something more permanent, I feel like. Because you can have fear of failures, you can have fear of rejections, fear of death, okay, a little permanent there, but the fear of regret is something that sticks with you. If you die, you die. Like, you're not thinking about it. But the fear of regret is something that you hold on to for years, right? So to me, that is like the deepest, darkest, worst fear that we can have for ourselves. But yeah. So with that being said, have a great day, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. So peace out.